So just a couple of hours ago, we got word on a new update coming to Red Dead Online on February 26th, and some news on bigger future content coming soon. This is some pretty good news considering the lack of content that has been put into the game these past couple of months, especially when there's still no word on a DLC at the moment. That also pretty much sums up the reason why you haven't seen any Red Dead 2 videos on the channel lately. The single player portion of the game is amazing, but I think we've pretty much killed it on the channel. I don't want to be like all of these other Red Dead channels beating a dead horse every video, and as for Red Dead Online, it just sadly lacks content at the moment, and Rockstar hasn't seemed to be very focused on it. Luckily for us though, Rockstar made a tweet and a post on their website saying, "We will have more details on additional content in the February 26th update next week. We are excited about the future of Red Dead Online and look forward to sharing lots more in the weeks and months ahead." So we won't be getting some big content in this new February 26th update, just some minor changes and minor updates, which we'll talk about in a minute, but we should hear some more info once that update releases. It might not sound like much at the moment, but it's some pretty great news to hear since what they've mainly been tweeting about is GTA 5, and it was starting to feel like maybe they just didn't care about Red Dead Online anymore. But with them also saying that they look forward to sharing lots more in the weeks and months to come, it kinda gets you hyped for what's ahead. It doesn't really sound like it's a bunch of small gameplay fixes or bug fixes. I really hope not anyways. But like I said, we have no idea when this new content is coming. All we can do is hope that it'll be something good and talk about this new update coming later this month, again on February 26th. I'm not going to read all of this word for word, we're just going to summarize each part of the update since there's quite a bit to it, and the link to this post in case you want to read it for yourself will be down below. So there's been a couple of changes to player visibility, or more specifically the visibility of your blip on the map. This is probably the only part of the update that I really don't want. First off, your blip will no longer show on the map unless you are within 150 meters of another player, and then if you're slightly farther away than that, you'll only be visible when you shoot. They then said that this change is to prevent griefing and a player being repeatedly targeted across the map at long distances. Am I the only one confused by this part of the update? I've seen some mixed feelings about wanting things like this, but is griefing really that big of a deal that you need to take player blips pretty much off of the map? I just don't know how this blip change really affects griefing. Just add private lobbies so that people that are really not enjoying the game the way it is can go into a private lobby with friends. Because the main issue I see with players getting griefed is that they're just trying to chill with their friends or play solo and don't want any interaction. But the whole point of an online mode is to interact with other players. The most fun I have had on this game is interacting with other players. If I want to sit solo and not have any interaction with other players, I'll go play single player. It's like we're trying to be an arcadey Rockstar type game and a Western simulator at the same time. And I think the best fix for this would be private lobbies. Because again, most of the people having problems with this are people that just don't want interaction, and in that case a private lobby would be perfect, not this whole blip change. And if you really can't add private lobbies right now, add a decent passive mode system. I just don't understand this part of the update at all. It just seems like an unnecessary change that affects people that like interacting with other players and really will likely have no effect on people that are getting griefed or don't want to interact with anybody. But the other player visibility change is that your dot on the map will become more visible and slowly get darker and will shift from blue to dark red. This happens from killing players or their horses outside of an event or mode. So basically, if you've played GTA 5, it's very similar to that, where your dot would turn red from killing other players, except in Red Dead now, it also becomes visible, while other players will only be able to be seen 150 meters away. And I'm not even gonna get into this one, but in my opinion, it just doesn't work. What's likely going to happen is a griefer kills you, so you kill the griefer, and then repeat, and you're now both left with a dark dot that makes you look like a griefer. But again, I think I already talked about how much I hate this part of the update. Also, we have Posse, Parlays, and Feuds. So basically, after somebody from another posse kills one of your posse members, you can decide to either parley to make peace or feud, which will cause a deathmatch between both posses to take place in free roam. Or the leaders of each posse can have a deathmatch to settle it themselves. This is something that sounds really interesting, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. Next up, we have bounty hunters and law balancing. Basically, committing crimes will give you a bounty or change your honor level. Looting and stealing will just lower your honor level, while killing someone or hurting an animal will give you a bounty, which will cause bounty hunters, which are NPCs, to come after you and your posse. The greater your bounty is, the harder it'll be to fight them off. And finally, we've got some daily challenges coming to the game. You can complete challenges to earn XP and gold nuggets. These challenges span from things like clearing hideouts and skinning animals to gathering herbs and selling items at a fence. They also said that these challenges will continue to expand and evolve over time, eventually bringing special challenges and rewards. They also said that there will be fixes to horse cargo and the pelts and stuff that you carry on your horse after dying, which I think is a much needed update. I hate when I go hunting for a long time, come back, somebody kills me, and my horse despawned all of the pelts. And they said that select weapons will be rebalanced, including the Varmint Rifle, which will have its accuracy brought more in line with other long arm weapons. And the Varmint Rifle is probably one of the most overpowered guns in the game. I rarely ever use a gun other than that because it's so insane, and that sounds like it's going to be nerfed, so it's probably for the best. That's pretty much all there is to this upcoming update, but right now they're having an event where playing in a Posse this week will earn you increased XP, and then next week there's an event which earns you 20% more XP across every activity. Overall, I'm glad to see Red Dead Online is getting a decent update and news on possibly big content coming soon. Stick around for future Red Dead 2 videos. I'll be covering future updates here along with more guides, and maybe someday, fingers crossed, we'll have some DLC. I think DLC by far would be the best thing to release on this game, and I think most of the community would also love some DLC. There are so many DLC possibilities. Leave me down in the comments what you want for DLC. What I want are some weird ones like the previous game's Undead Nightmare, except maybe some aliens instead, or something just strange and weird. I think that's really what made the original Red Dead Redemption's DLC so great, is because it was just so strange. But that's pretty much it. Don't forget to leave a like. See ya.